Right now, a national day of protest as President Trump prepares to address Congress tonight. New at 4, we're hearing from people taking part who say they want accountability. And as we enter severe weather preparedness week, schools are talking about their plans for any severe weather we face this spring.
Covering news where you live. This is 5 News First at 4.
Storms brought heavy rain, thunderstorms today. This video from our 5 News storm chaser as the rain made its way through the area this morning. We are finished with round 1. We are looking, though, for extra rounds of weather moving in. Thanks for joining us. I'm Darren Bobb. Scott's here to talk about what else we have in store.
You notice there on the left side of your screen, Darren, we're looking there in Ozark, Arkansas River, a little bit of sunshine out there. Well, that sunshine is actually helping to destabilize the atmosphere. And what we're seeing this afternoon are some additional showers and thunderstorms developing. Let me show you what it looks like here live from Poto. We're looking back towards Kavanaugh Hill. Those skies getting a little bit darker out there. That's all part of some additional development that, while not severe at the moment, very well could produce some large raindrops, maybe even a little bit of gusty winds out there as well. So rain and storms over the next few hours. At that point, we're going to be looking at conditions that are going to turn very windy. We're talking gust overnight tonight into tomorrow morning up to 40, 50 miles per hour. And then later tonight, as this system finally starts departing, we're talking about snow showers back in the forecast. There's a lot going on out there. Here's live radar over the last hour. You've got some spotty showers developing across parts of Washington and Benton County. They're spotty in nature right now, but notice how over the last hour, that activity goes from essentially nothing to we're starting to see some more yellows, oranges, even some pockets of red. That tells us these showers are going to try to develop into maybe a few thunderstorms out there. Here's where we were looking live in LaFleur County back into some of those cells. Those are certainly growing, and that's where we could see right now up to about 50-mile-per-hour winds with those showers. The overall severe weather risk for the rest of this evening is going to be a level 1 potential for the areas here shaded in green. That's going to be predominantly northwest Arkansas, northeast Oklahoma, a sliver of northern Franklin and Johnson counties. You'll notice those showers and those storms and right now in LaFleur County, not even in a risk zone, yet they're still likely growing. We'll track those winds. We'll track how much snow we could pick up tonight, if any at all, where it may be, and more coming up here in just a few.
All right, Scott, thanks. President Trump set to give a speech tonight before a joint gathering of Congress comes as new tariffs went into effect overnight. 25% tariffs now in effect on the nation's 2 biggest trading partners, Canada and Mexico. U.S. also increased tariffs on imports from China, bringing them to 20%. Each country has vowed to respond with tariffs of its own. The president's domestic agenda is also expected to be front and center tonight, including efforts to shrink the size of the federal government with more than 20,000 firings so far.
Firing federal workers who do cancer research and Alzheimer's research, that does not make us a stronger country or a stronger government.
Among President Trump's guests for tonight, the widow and daughters of Corey Camperatore, the rally-goer who was killed when a gunman tried to assassinate the president in Butler, Pennsylvania last summer. If you want to catch the president's address tonight, we'll stream it on 5+. You can download it to your TV and watch it for free. Just text the number there on your screen. We'll send you back instructions on how to download it. Meanwhile, local groups rallying in Fayetteville as part of a 50-51 national movement dubbed March 4th for Democracy. Protesters out today say their goal is to fight fear, hate, and corruption. Hundreds line College Avenue in Fayetteville, then march to the town center to listen to music and hear from speeches. Caitlin Oxford, chair of the Washington County Democrats, says she has personal reasons for being at this protest.
I have a lot of friends who work for the VA, federal employees. I have a lot of friends who have lost their jobs or are on the axing block, and that's not okay. The cut to Medicaid is a big one for me. My child is on Our Kids First because my ex-husband does not pay for his health insurance. So that's how he gets health insurance. And if they cut that, what am I going to do with him? He has special medicine that he has to have. How am I going to afford that?
Later at 5 and 6, reporter Jacob Luthi will tell us more about why those who attended felt the need to be there today. The president has taken a dramatic step to get Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to begin talks on a ceasefire with Russia. The president put all U.S. aid to Ukraine on hold. U.S. military aid is crucial for the Ukrainians to fight the war that Putin started 3 years ago. Emida's Tiab is in Ukraine's capital.
feel it in the future. God
Following Friday's Oval Office shouting match heard around the world,
Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
the nightmare scenario for Ukraine has been revealed. President Trump has announced the U.S. would pause billions of dollars in military assistance to the Zelensky government.
Well, I just think you should be more appreciative because this country has stuck with them through thick and thin. We've given them much more than Europe.
The revelation has sent shockwaves across the war-battered country as Ukrainian morning shows broke the news.
Президент США Дональд Трамп.
Mikhailo Podolyak is a top advisor to President Volodymyr Zelensky.
Can Ukraine defeat Russia without the support of the U.S. and President Trump?
What I can say for sure is that Ukraine will still fight. But I will ask you a question. Would the U.S. be okay to stay on the sidelines when we need to stop Russian aggression? And what does Russia want to do? It wants to destroy the world that was built by previous American administrations. It's a world these Ukrainian soldiers say they're trying to defend. We were at a military trauma ward in Kyiv for those injured on the battlefield, where we met Alexei, a grandfather and volunteer soldier in his 50s who was being treated for shrapnel wounds to his leg and hips from a Russian shelling. Alexei also suffered a war injury to his arm a year ago and still went back to fight.
So you're going to keep fighting no matter what?
Of course, he says, for the sake of my granddaughter.
And as Ukrainian leaders grapple with what to do next, they will no doubt increasingly turn to European partners who already provide just over 50% of the military assistance Ukraine receives as Russia's war rages on. Overnight, the Kremlin launched major drone strikes on the cities of Sumy and Odessa. Imtiaz Time, CBS News, Kyiv, Ukraine.
Back here at home, a Benton County doctor facing sexual assault charges in Washington County was supposed to be in court today. That case has been delayed to tomorrow morning. Benton County prosecutors dropped charges against Adam Moss last month, but is still facing 2 counts of second-degree sexual assault in Washington County. He has pled not guilty to those charges. Moss also facing a medical malpractice lawsuit in Benton County. Right now at 4, the Vatican reporting that Pope Francis is in stable condition. The 88-year-old has been hospitalized since Valentine's Day with respiratory issues. They're also reporting no more episodes of acute respiratory insufficiency. Today, doctors say that he is off the mechanical ventilator. He's using high-flow oxygen through nasal tubes, although they do point out they will put him back on this mechanical ventilator through the morning. Nevertheless, his prognosis does remain guarded, meaning he is not out of danger. Doctors are very careful to point that out. Monday marked the start of Severe Weather Preparedness Week, and Fort Smith Public Schools says it's ready to keep students safe. The district is just one of several that have an area of campus designated to withstand tornadoes and high-speed winds. In Fort Smith, every school, every shelter on campus is approved by FEMA and built to withstand an EF5 tornado. Schools Police Chief Eric Huber says safety is the district's #1 priority, and if severe weather happens during the school day, the district has a plan in place.
We will take our students to the tornado shelters. Most of the time, we try to get them out there prior to that severe weather even being here. And so we can ensure that they're inside of those shelters prior to an activation of the alert system.
Chief Huber says the district has mandatory tornado drills 4 times a year, but certain schools within the district can have more if they choose to do so. Arkansas law requires new public school facilities construct to include a tornado shelter or designated reinforced area designed to withstand tornadoes and high-speed winds. The Square to Square bike ride celebrating its 10th anniversary this spring. The largest local cycling event in Northwest Arkansas connects people from Fayetteville to Bentonville along the Razorback Greenway. To celebrate, a special edition Square to Square bike ride available for purchase. Registration for this year's ride, by the way, on May 3rd is also now officially open. A wreck that caused some backups on I-49 in Fayetteville this morning now is all clear. It happened around 11:30 and stalled traffic going north just south of the Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard exit. No injuries reported in that crash.